part 2. When I did part 1 about PCOS, I mean, I knew that a lot of people suffer from PCOS. 30% of the population, that's 1 out of every 3 women, actually have PCOS, whether you realize it or not. Okay. And, you know, I've grown to the point where I can actually look at a person and tell whether they have PCOS or not. So, and that's not an insult. It's just what I do. Just like you can go to your job, you know, when somebody be like, her edges are not going to sustain that color. If you're a hairstylist, you know. Well, it's what I do. And I pride myself in being very good at it. So I know, and, you know, I could, like, if you get some stars, you got Keke Palmer, you got B. Simone, and I'm not trying to blow anybody out. I'm not trying to be insulting to anybody. I'm just telling you that I can see it. You got Lizzo, you have Brandy's daughter, Cyree. All of those actually suffer from PCOS. And unfortunately, you know, they go a long time wanting to fix themselves, but not knowing how to fix themselves. And so, shout out to any of them who may be watching. If any of you know them, you know, definitely have them get with me. But, you know, the first time I did it, when I tell y'all the response was so overwhelming, I think like 700 people just hit us at one time. Boom. And I was just like, ah! And so I saw as many as I could. I got as many people in as I could. People came from out of the state, all over the country. And I love y'all for rocking with me. Again, this is why I'm doing a part 2. I want to get the rest of you in. If you couldn't get in, if you didn't get in, if you didn't get a response, whatever the case may be, I want to get you better. I want to treat you. Okay. So call us, call back, Atlanta Premier, call us. Okay, y'all. So in part 1, when we talked about PCOS, I really kind of got way deep into the description of what PCOS was. And people say, well, what makes you the authority on PCOS? Well, my treatment works. Does your doctor's treatment work? My treatment works. And again, not being arrogant about it. I was trained by, there's only a handful of PCOS, I can't say that, not aficionados, but there's only a handful of people in the country who really do a good job of treating PCOS. I don't care what type of specialist they say they are. A lot of times people don't really get results. Thanks, Minnie. And, you know, I was trained, like I said, by Shahab Manassian, who is the absolute man. Shout out to Shahab. And I really didn't realize what a tool that he was giving me to help ladies and to get to the bottom of these problems. Today, I'm going to hit a little bit. I'm going to review a little bit about what actually PCOS is. Okay. Thank y'all for buying the badges. Whoever's buying badges, thank you. I can see some of y'all. Thank you. I appreciate y'all's support. So a little bit, I'm going to touch on what PCOS is again, but I'm also really going to touch on the social implications of PCOS. For my patients who actually have PCOS, you know, they know what I teach them, they know what I tell them, we rock and roll, but this is not an easy treatment. And I think sometimes they may not do well for a month, or they may not feel like they lost any weight, or they may not have been able to stick with the plan, so they kind of run. Y'all, don't run from me. Don't run if you feel like you haven't done what you needed to do, because there may be a medical reason why. Like when I listen to you, because the treatment changes. So for all of y'all who are like, okay, I'm gonna get the treatment and then I'm gonna have my doctor do it, you might see success for about a month and then you're gonna fail, because the treatment changes, and I change the treatment every month based on what you tell me. And this is why I say, don't be afraid to come in and say, hey, doc, you know, my cravings are crazy. I cannot control these cravings. Like, I'm falling off. I can't eat what I'm supposed to eat because I can't control the cravings. Well, that's not you failing. That's you needing more medication. Everybody's dose is different. And so, and your dose doesn't stay the same. 1 month it may go up. The next month it may go back down. And we may play roller coaster for a minute until we get you settled into where you need to be. So if you are a patient who are seeing me for treatment for PCOS, don't run and don't feel like you're failing and don't feel like you're not doing something right. I don't even operate in that space. Let me help you. Okay. So for anybody who did not see part 1, we're going to do a brief overview, because if I get all into it, you know, it's my passion. And if I get all into it, we'll be doing part 1 all over again. And somebody broke it down on TikTok into like 16 different videos. That is hilarious to me. I love y'all. I appreciate it. And I'm going to learn how to use TikTok so y'all can catch me on there too. Okay. So PCOS. Contrary to what you have been told, led to believe, read about, or whatever the case may be, PCOS is not a disorder of your ovaries. Bam, did I just drop knowledge on somebody? It is not a disorder of your ovaries. PCOS is a disorder of your metabolism. Your metabolism, okay? Now, I'm not saying that your ovaries are not affected by it, but what I'm saying is that not really, and what your ovaries are doing is responding the way they should respond to the insult that they're getting. So your issue is not your ovaries. So when people come in, can I take this Ovostitrol? I don't care what you take, and I don't know nothing about no Ovostitrol, and Ovostitrol plays on the errored thought that PCOS is about your ovaries, because it ain't. So I'm going to have that slide to the side. I'm going to just say, okay? So the reality of the situation is this. When I say it's a disorder of your metabolism, it means that for whatever reason, and again, 30% of the population suffers for this, and it's not anything to be embarrassed about. I deal with a lot of patients who tend to be embarrassed or tearful. Girl, tearful about what? Embarrassed about what? No. PCOS essentially, your cells, and it's essentially a component of being insulin resistant. Your cells do not respond to insulin the way other people's cells do to maintain your blood sugar. So no, your blood sugar is not the issue. Your blood sugar is fine. It's normal. It is A-okay. But what the actual problem is that your cells don't like the insulin that is required to keep your blood sugar normal. So you have to produce double the amount of insulin for your cells to be able to maintain that balance. And with PCOS, the entire problem is that overproduction of insulin. Ain't got nothing to do with your sugar. It ain't got nothing to do with your ovaries. It is an overproduction of that insulin. When you overproduce that insulin, then things start to happen. What things start to happen? Fatigue. You're tired all the time. And don't be calling me like, oh, girl, yeah, I'm tired. You got 3 jobs. You got some bad kids. You don't get sleep. Yeah, you're tired. But because you have fatigue doesn't mean you have PCOS. But let me just be clear about that. So, and if you just joined, again, I'm going to hit you up. Make sure you buy your badges, y'all. So PCOS is a disorder of, like I said, I'm sorry. So the symptoms that you get are fatigue. Okay. And then you get cravings because you make so much extra insulin. Your body says, you have all this extra insulin. So your body says, give me sugar, give me sugar. So PCOS patients are infamous for craving carbohydrates. If you don't crave carbs, I don't know, you may not be a PCOS patient. And I mean, when I say carbs, that's rice, that's pasta, that's bread, that's potatoes, that's junk food, that's cookies, that's cake, that's candy, that's juice. Everybody has a something. Everybody. And when I counsel my PCOS patients, I'll be like, well, what's your carb of choice? And everybody, this. Not, I'm craving cookies and garlic bread right now. I told you already about yourself. You scared to get treated. Anyway, it is about, so you have those cravings, those insatiable cravings, okay? And then let's take it to the next thing, which is weight gain. Now, people tend to think that all PCOS patients are fat. That is not true. I have PCOS patients that are 160. I have PCOS patients that are 260 and 360, but I also have PCOS patients that are 160. So do not think that because you are not wildly overweight that you are not PCOS. Now, what I can say is that most PCOS patients are always going to be over their natural body weight. So even my 160 patient, 9 times out of 10, her natural body weight is probably 125, 130, but she's at 160. So technically she's not fat, but technically she's pretty overweight for what her normal body weight is. Does that make sense to anybody? Okay. And so what comes with PCOS is a lot of shame and embarrassment. Now, yes, honey, with that pasta and that bread. Yes, ma'am. So what comes with PCOS is a lot of shame and embarrassment. And when I say that, what does that mean? Because most PCOS patients, if they have not been diagnosed, and even if they have been diagnosed, if doctors have not explained it to them in a way that, one, don't be mad at your doctor because they don't understand it themselves. But if it has not been explained to you properly, you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I'm just so tired all the time. And so your family looks at you as being lazy. Right? Because you're tired all the time. And then you're eating crazy, carbs and pastas and breads and sugars and all that. So your family's like, well, no wonder. And then you got the weight gain. Well, the food is actually only 10% of the weight gain. I'll explain what the weight gain is from. But essentially, you feel bad because you're like, something is wrong with me. And everybody's like, yeah, you lazy. You don't get up. You eat crazy and you're gaining weight. Now you think something is wrong. Stop being lazy. Stop eating crazy. But you literally can't. It is literally like an addiction. It really is. It's like a sugar addiction. It's like a carb addiction. Hey, Teresa, thank you, girl. Can't wait to see you again. I miss you, girl. Anywho, but it's like a carb addiction. And the reality of the situation is the reason that you gain weight is really not because of the carbs. Now, some of y'all do, but it really is because in the body where you have insulin, which I told you with PCOS, too much insulin, where you have insulin, you have a hormone called growth factor. And the more insulin you make or produce, the more growth factor you make or produce. And what do you think growth factor does? It grows stuff, okay? Like your fat cells, like your thighs, like your stomach. And PCOS patients are infamous for having that, kind of, even if you're thin, you kind of have that pudgy stomach, because where do carbs go? Your abdomen, okay? So you got your cravings, you have your fatigue, you have your weight gain, okay? And we'll talk about that. Miss Visual Ant, about the lose the weight in the metformin. That's what everybody is told, unfortunately. And it goes a little bit deeper than that. So anywho, what I'm saying is that, so you have your fatigue, you have your weight gain, you have your cravings, but what else happens? And this is the part that we all see. Okay. The part that we all see is this, all females start out with male hormone, which is testosterone, right? Well, imagine your testosterone being on this side of the bridge. Well, you're supposed to cross this bridge, and then it gets converted to estrogen, which is female hormone. But when you have too much insulin, it closes off your bridge. The bridge closes. The bridge is closed. The bridge it's closed. Okay? And so when the bridge closes, what happens? You get a lot of testosterone and only a little bit of estrogen. So now let's talk about that. So this is what you all see. The lot of testosterone is hair growth where it's not supposed to be. It's acne. It's thinning of your real hair. It's dry scalp. It's oily skin. It is those broad shoulders. It's that big tummy, honey. It is that boxy shape that PCOS patients have. No matter what, honey, you can't get that Coke bottle. Doctor, somebody gonna have to get that to you. And also it's strong body odor. And not that you stink, but honey, that 24-hour deodorant, I'm going to need you to wear that every 24 hours. Some women can wear deodorant 3 or 4 times a week. That ain't your ministry if you're a PCOS patient. Sorry. It is what it is. Okay. So that is what you see when you have that elevated testosterone. Well, this is why the doctors fail you. I'm about to tell you. Because you have the little bit of estrogen. Well, when you have a little bit of estrogen, just like gasoline fuels your car, estrogen fuels the menstrual cycle. And don't forget to hit those badges, y'all. Estrogen fuels the menstrual cycle. And so what happens is when you only have a little bit of estrogen, you have irregular periods because you don't have enough estrogen to drive those follicles through the menstrual cycle. Right? And so then when you go to your doctor, you be like, I'm not having regular periods. Something's going on with my periods. Yeah, child, that's the wrong treatment, miss. They put you on birth control. Ooh, child, we're going to get into that. So, and hold on, because your part is coming right now. Well, you go to your doctor, you say, I'm not having regular periods, blah, 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 blah. Say, do an ultrasound, which is legit. And then they see what they call a string of pearls. And they say, oh, you got cysts on your ovaries. You need birth control pills. Well, they're not cysts. They're follicles. They're immature periods that never came to maturity. They're not cysts. Okay? So the reality is that birth control pills are not going to help you. They're not going to help the situation. The reality of the situation is birth control pills are just going to prevent you from calling your and if you don't get a period anymore, honey, you got to see me. We got to get you fixed up. My patients are starting their periods in 2 to 3 months, if not before then. But the reality is those are not cysts. Those are follicles. Your body just reabsorbs them. You don't need birth control for any of that. Okay. Birth control pills are for cysts on your ovaries, not for follicles. Okay. So it doesn't help PCOS. It doesn't treat PCOS. It doesn't fix PCOS. It doesn't do anything but get you off of your doctor's nerves, so that you don't keep calling and saying you're not having a period. So the reality is that is why you're giving birth control. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to drag anybody's doctor, but it's because they don't know what they're doing. They don't truly understand PCOS, and they're not fixing you. They're wasting your time because, unfortunately, unfortunately, if you do not treat PCOS, it will turn into diabetes. Okay. As far as regulating your periods, any of my PCOS patients, I don't give them anything to regulate their periods. Now, if you start treatment with me and you haven't had a period in like 5 months, then I'll give you something to start your period. And then just that one time, and that's it. 9 out of 10 of my patients, but then 2, worst case scenario, 3 months, they're having periods. A lot of my PCOS patients, since I did my last live, and it was a few months ago, maybe 5 months ago, but since I did my last live, I've had a gazillion new PCOS patients and about 5 or 6 have gotten pregnant that were waiting to get pregnant. And I want to do videos with them, but I think that a lot of people want to hide the fact that they have PCOS. A lot of people are embarrassed about the fact that they have PCOS, so they really don't necessarily want to talk about their struggles. And I respect that, because my goal is to get you better. My goal is to get you in a better place. My goal is not to live my practice on Instagram. I give you guys what I think you can use. I give you guys what I think I can help you with. But at the end of the day, you know, this is not just about putting you on blast and be like, see what I can do. That is not my ministry. My ministry is to help you guys. Now, I want to talk a little bit more, because I'm seeing your comments. I am. And I want to talk a little bit more about the impact that PCOS has on women. Okay. Yes, I'm accepting new patients, always accepting new patients. I want to talk about the impact that PCOS has on women. Little do you know that PCOS is definitely associated with anxiety and depression. Okay. Definitely associated with it. PCOS is also associated with abdominal pain, and we'll kind of get into it. Really is a little bit too complex to go on Swan Live, but a lot of patients suffer with pelvic pain, abdominal pain, and you're told you got endometriosis. Well, maybe you don't. Like, no, it's your ovaries from the PCOS. No, you know, it's the untreated PCOS, and yes, it gives you a lot of symptoms or things that you look in the mirror and you see and you're like, I'm this, or I'm this. Please don't feel that way, ladies. One thing that I need every single person listening, if you don't have PCOS, if you know somebody with PCOS, please understand that I'll get to the spironolactone question in a minute. Please understand, guys, that this is 100% reversible. I will never be able to take it away from you, but honey, I can control it. We'll get that weight off. We'll regulate them periods. We'll get you pregnant if that's your problem. Now, you know, don't blame PCOS. It ain't for everything. It ain't to blame for everything. But if PCOS is actually your problem, that is not. Listen, let me tell you, okay? Because people walk in so defeated, and the hardest part sometimes is fighting your feelings of feeling defeated. Like, this is not going to work for me. And I tell you, just open your mind. I got you. I got you. Don't worry about me fixing you. I got you. I need you to get this right, and I'm going to get this right, and I'm going to get all this right. Okay. A little bit of the social stuff, a couple of things that I want to talk about. And if you guys have any, you know, I'm so conflicted, because I'm always like, buy your badges and I'll answer your questions. I'm going to answer your damn questions anyway, but buy your damn badges. But anyway, you know, the treatment, and like I said, I don't be trying to like withhold anything from y'all, but what I don't want is providers to get on here, listen to this, and think that they can treat y'all, and then y'all be jacking people up. Somebody asked me about spironolactone. That's perfectly fine. It depends on the dose. You know, metformin, that is part of the treatment, but it's a special kind of metformin. It's not a regular metformin. And then the other part of the treatment, if you're not given the other part of the treatment, which is the major part of the treatment, you're not going to do well. The metformin is going to make you feel like you want to die. You're going to be like, how can anybody possibly live like this? I'd rather have PCOS. To hell with it. Okay. So I don't want to be like, because the treatment is very much complex, and one thing depends on the other. If you've been in my office, I call it my treatment triangle. So it's like it's 3 major components. It's medicine, it's a way of living and eating, and it's exercise, because you can't exercise the way regular people can exercise. If you exercise and your trainers are going to be like, build the muscle to burn the fat, you can't do that as a PCOS patient. You cannot. And the reason is because you're going to trigger that testosterone. And if you trigger that testosterone, baby, those shoulders are going to get broader. Okay, that neck is going to get wider. You're going to get hungry, and you're going to be like, I'm going to the gym, and it just seems like everything's going in the wrong direction. Another source of frustration, worsening depression. Okay. That's the first thing. So, more cardio, hit, resistance, light weights. You can't do what the standard metabolism person does. Just like it's a whole way of living and eating. I tell my patients the one thing you're addicted to is the one thing you can't have, but I help you with that. And I'm going to help you with that. And I'm going to help you, and I'm going to adjust those medications. And there's a couple of different meds that I give, and there's a couple of ways that I eat. I have people eat, So if you're taking the metformin, and everybody who's on metformin doesn't always have side effects, let me be very clear. Hot yoga is fine. Just don't pass out, girl. Make sure you're hydrating. If everybody who's on metformin doesn't necessarily have side effects, but the reality is if you're not feeling a little something, or if you're not saying anyway, the point is that the dose of metformin is not standard in PCOS. It can go up. I take my patients anywhere to 2 pills to 5 pills a day. And it depends on what you say to me. It depends on what we're doing for treatment. Okay. So the reality of the situation is it varies. There's no one set way to do anything when it comes to PCOS. Yes, and like I said, it is definitely a component of generalized anxiety and depression is definitely a component of PCOS. When my patients are, the particular metformin you're on, the particular way you're taking it, and the particular you can't just give somebody metformin. If the whole treatment plan is not in place, not only is it not going to work, the patient's going to feel horrible. So metformin is real interesting, and it comes with a lot of disclaimers in my office. Okay. But I just want you guys to know that this stuff is fixable. I don't want you guys buying a bunch of supplements. Don't let anybody tell you can't lose weight, because you can. The reality is, I don't care how many gastric sleeves you have. I don't care how much phentermine you take. If you don't fix the PCOS, none of your symptoms are going to be lasting. I mean, none of your results are going to be lasting. You might lose 40 pounds and then you're going to pick it up again because you haven't treated the underlying problem. I'm just telling you. But don't let anybody tell you that you can't lose the weight, or you feel like you're never going to lose the weight. Absolutely, it's fixable, my love. It is fixable. Absolutely. And I need you guys to know and understand that. Okay. Yes, you can have a period. I don't give my patients anything to start their periods. I fix the PCOS. I fixed the PCOS within a month. You're like, I was spotting. I haven't spotted in years. Like, I was spotting. And then the next month we see a period, or we see something very similar to a period, whatever the case may be. I fix your problem, and I allow your body to fix itself. Don't let anybody make you feel like you actually have a fertility problem. Well, the fertility problem is because you're not ovulating and you're not having periods. So obviously you're not having regular periods. You can't have a baby. But the reality of the situation is that can all be fixed. It is all reversible. Don't let anybody make you think that you're going to have to take Clomid or what is the other one? I don't know. But don't let anybody make you think you're going to have to take these things and that you're going to have to see a fertility specialist in order to get pregnant. That's not true. And like I said, I don't know if somebody's fertility issue is going to be something outside of PCOS. I'm not saying that I can fix everything, but if your problem is PCOS, oh baby. And somebody's saying, I'm in Texas. What do I tell my doctor? The problem with that is, unfortunately, like I said in the beginning of the lives, that a lot of doctors are they're not astute. They're not savvy. They don't know how to treat it. They don't know how to manage it. So I can't necessarily tell you what to tell your doctor. Now, if you want to come and see me, come on and see me, boo. And this is how I do my out-of-state patients, just because somebody's like, what if I'm not going to be able to come every blah, 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 blah. The initial visit, I want to talk to you. I want to see you. I want to educate you on PCOS. I want to have a conversation with you. We're going to draw blood. Once I see that your blood work is consistent, then with PCOS and you have not converted to diabetes, I send the medication over to your pharmacy, and then every month I'll have you check. It's like 5 to 6 weeks I see my PCOS patients. And when that's the case, we do telemedicine visits. So you don't have to travel to see me if you don't want to. I think it's not bad because I'm a vegetarian. Let me scroll back down, because Ariel, you just said something and I think I missed it. And then you said something about the vegetarian, and I just missed that. Tell me what you were talking about again. Type it on there again, my ladies. Okay, so Miss Visual Auntie, listen, I don't know your whole situation, but come and talk to me. Come and talk to me, because I don't use that. Yeah. Yeah. So just go ahead on and you know, come and talk to me. What I don't want you ladies is to waste time. I don't want you to waste time. The reality of the situation is that sometimes doctors really don't know. And, you know, they'll tell you a bunch of BS and have you believe in some BS, and you're doing all this crazy BS that you don't need to do, and you're wasting time and you're wasting money. Okay. And that's not what I want you guys to do. How do you pay when you're from out of state? Just call my office. They'll give you everything. I don't know. I guess I'm going to put a comment. I'm going to put my office number down, guys. And we don't open again until Monday, but I'm going to put my office number down. I don't know how to pin it. You know, I'm not all that savvy about this stuff, but I'm going to post my office number, and go ahead on and call the office. They will get you in. They will work it out. 9 times out of 10, whatever insurance you have will take care of all of your lab work. Sometimes your insurance will take care of your visit. If it's something we don't accept, then they'll tell you what the fee is. And that's pretty much it. But metformin and birth control, sweetie, I'm sorry. It's just not the treatment. That's why you're not getting results. And I'll tell you, if any of my patients who are on birth control, is because they don't want to get pregnant. Okay, they don't want to get pregnant. That's the only reason. Okay, somebody just told me how to pin this thing. Any of my patients, if you are on birth control, is because you don't want to get pregnant. But birth control has no place in the treatment of PCOS. Okay, I guess I don't know what I'm doing here, but whatever. So anyway, let me see. Oh yeah, I'm a pin it. Okay, all right then. I did it, y'all. Thanks, Coco. So that's the reality. Are you open January the 17th? That's the Monday after Martin. I know some places close for MLK Day. I don't know. I don't control that. My office does. They just kind of tell me where to show up, and I show up. We have a big event here in Atlanta on the 16th. So I'm probably going to be pretty dang on tired. If I am in the office, it'll be a light day, but likely we will be in the office. But just call and confirm that we're in the office. I know a lot of people use that day to try and do visits and things like that because because they're off. So just call the office and see. I was saying you can also do gut cleanse, and that I'm vegetarian. So I think that's why my PCOS is not that bad, but I definitely okay. So let's talk about that and that's one of the challenges sometimes that I have to have people, PCOS essentially is insulin resistance. But what I do want you to understand, my love, is even though you are, you said results from stress and depression, that's not what I said. What I said was PCOS is associated with stress and depression. A lot of PCOS patients have stress and, well, not stress, but have depression. So I didn't say that it resulted from it, not in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, one in 3 women are born with PCOS. I mean, it just is you. It's how you were made. It is your metabolism. Nothing makes it. That's how you were created. We can fix it. We can control it, but that's how you were created. So, yes. But what I was going to say to Ariel was that, and I keep losing my daggone train of thought, is that when we have alternate, I can't even really say alternative diets, because I don't feel like I'm pescatarian. I will eat a wing every now and again. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Them wings be having me. I don't know what is going on. But anyway, so when you have alternate, when you say, okay, I don't eat meat, which is fine. You can get protein sources from everything else. You don't have to eat meat. But even vegans sometimes tend to replace their meat and their dairy with carbohydrates. So just because you're vegetarian does not mean you don't take in a high level of carbs. Okay, did I just drop something on you? Okay, so what we have to watch out for is not so much our meat. It's more, and not that I'm condoning meat, because I got my thoughts on that, but more than anything, more than anything is the carbohydrates. So somebody kind of just asked a little question that's off topic, but I want to hit it right quick before I go to the next thing. Is, will there be a fragrance-free, clean and cute wash? So let's talk about that, because the fragrance that's associated with clean and cute, it is literally 4 drops of essential oil. Literally, it is 4 drops of organic essential oil. It's not really fragrance. So when people say, oh, it smells so good, the male and the female, there are 4 drops of essential oil in every bag. And obviously, you know, we have calculations because we make big batches. But when I break it down to my initial formula, it is 4 drops of essential oil. That's less than you would put in your bath. And again, it is organic essential oils. It's not a chemical. It's not a perfume. I would never do that. Like, that's against everything I stand for. So I would never do that. So, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, you got us making a whole nother batch of stuff, honey. Girl, love up on that, love up on the essential fragrance, and go from there. But, so it's not like a perfume. So don't worry about that. It's not anything that would, irritate you or anything like that. Again, 4 drops of essential oil. Now, I want to get back to, the PCOS. I want to be very clear, guys, that PCOS doesn't look a particular kind of way. People are like, I'm not fat and I ain't got hair coming out my chin. I don't have PCOS. That's not necessary. Everybody is different. Okay. And like I said, I have thin PCOSers. I have overweight PCOSers. I have PCOS patients who have irregular periods. I have PCOS patients who have periods every month. But the reality is that it's not about how you look. It's not about, you know, how much weight you can lose. It is about getting your body healthy so that you don't become a diabetic. It is about getting your body healthy so it is functioning at its optimal. It's really, really interesting that when my patients are on treatment, when they do exactly what I tell them to do, and they are following treatment, usually, and this is no lie, and any of my patients who are on here can attest to this, usually if I have somebody, let's say you're right around 200 pounds, if you come in after your first 6-week visit, you've probably lost, and this is not even including inches, you've probably lost about 11 or 12 pounds, and that's consistent throughout the time you're in treatment. You lose weight very, very quickly. And this is why the menstrual cycle just kind of regulate very, very quickly. Okay. And so, you know, some people don't have them at all. Some people bleed consistently. You know, and that is what we have to be very, very mindful of with PCOS. It doesn't look a certain kind of way, but, you know, it really does feel a certain kind of way. PCOS patients are very run down and they're very tired and they feel like they could just sleep at any time. They have a lot of brain fog and they're not really focused. And you know, it's just like, and then again, because they're like, I know something is wrong. Nobody's listening to me. Everybody's just like, lose weight. They want to put me on a pill. They want to do this. They want to do that. Well, you know, I'm going to be very clear and say PCOS treatment. Can you go over the physical attributes for PCOS again? Yes, I can. PCOS, like I said, PCOS patients always know something is not really right, but because nobody's really listening to them, and they're just like, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight. You need to lose weight. That's the problem. You need to lose weight. They get so frustrated because as much as they want to lose weight, they can't, because the very thing you need to do to lose weight is the very thing you are addicted to. It's crazy. So it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? But I got you, boo. You know, like I said, this is not easy. And I tell my PCOS patients, this treatment is simple, but it's not easy. And I get it. Okay. I get it all the way. Cause I struggle with carbs myself. And I'm like, baby. And I'm like, okay, tomorrow's going to be the day. I'm gonna hit up my keto coach, Glam Lux Studios, by the way. I'm gonna hit up my keto coach and, you know, we're going to get this together, baby, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Y'all see what I'm doing, right? Okay. As I get my black eyed peas and rice together. So, the point is, all right, so somebody wanted me to go over the physical attributes of PCOS again. Now, the reason, again, because you have such elevated testosterone, because you're not able to convert that testosterone over to estrogen. So what do? You get acne. You get hair growth in places you're not supposed to have it. You get thinning of your real hair. You get dry scalp. You get oily skin. You get, strong body odor. As you would say, strong. You get strong body odor. You get those broad shoulders. You get that square boxy shape, the big abdomen. Those are all things that, and sometimes, like I said, people sometimes do definitely get hair thinning, and sometimes in that little spot right there, as you would with if you were a male, but generally you'll see thinning. Okay. And everybody's thinning can be different. Okay. So that's generally what you will see, you know, but the reality of the situation is a lot of times, and I'm seeing a lot of people's symptoms about colon cleansing and colitis and things like that, because technically the way your body functions and the way it is functioning, the way your metabolism is functioning, all the sugars, even if it's natural sugars, even if it's fruit sugars, all of the sugars, well, you have to get into treatment for the PCOS about the body odors, my dear. But all of the sugars, all of the complex carbohydrates, all of those things create a little bit of an inflammation, if I say so. I've noticed that when I put my patients on full treatment and they follow the treatment plan, they're like, I haven't had much pelvic pain this month. Oftentimes their brain fog improves, their attitude and their perspective improves. A lot of that is inflammation. A lot of that is inflammation. So, before I will diagnose, and I mean, if you have a colon issue, I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying, no, they're wrong, you don't have a colitis. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I see a lot of the things that sometimes can't necessarily be directly explained, especially if you don't necessarily know a lot about PCOS, but a lot of things that can't be directly explained. Yes, honey, come and take the drive. I would love, and let me tell you, in the office, we have same glass. We offer wine in the office so y'all can relax and chill out and be ready to hear what I'm going to tell y'all. It's a really fun experience. But nevertheless, what I'm saying is there are a lot of symptoms that are not necessarily, hey, let me grab you. It's in the textbook. Here's a symptom. A lot of things that I see with a lot of PCOS patients that with treatment and with being compliant with treatment tends to resolve itself. So I treat you. And I treat you aggressively for the PCOS, but I allow your body the space to recover itself and to improve itself. And, like I said, I just juiced all the fruit and then watched for a while and realized juicing is not necessarily beneficial for me. Yes. And yes, the inflammation, my CRP has been high. Exactly right. And so, if you've watched my other, and I love spearmint tea, it's just not going to help with your PCOS. If you've watched my part 1, the only fruit that I allow my patients to have are berries. Any other fruit has too much sugar in it. So although, and that's one of the biggest things with PCOS, that fighting my patients to realize that what is technically healthy for other people is not healthy for you as a PCOS patient, and vice versa. What is going to work for you and be healthy for you as a PCOS patient is not going to be technically healthy for somebody else. Like, people say, I have oatmeal every day. You can't have that as a PCOS patient. They're like, what? It's oatmeal. Right. You can't have that. It's like chock full of carbs. You can't have that. I literally allow my PCOS patients 5 net carbs a day. And that's net carbs. And if you know how to read a label, you understand that what you read on that label is a whole lot different than a net carb. Okay. So I allow my PCOS patients 5 net carbs per day. A bowl of Cheerios is 57 net carbs. Again, maybe healthy for the standard person. They need the fiber, but not necessarily healthy for you. You need the protein. So this is why, the education and understanding what PCOS is and what it is doing inside of your body. Yeah, honey, put that oatmeal, not the buy one, get one. Take it to the homeless shelter. Take it to somebody who can benefit from it. Give it to a family who might be, in between blessings, because it ain't fitting to help you, sugar. But this is why I think it's very, very important to educate you ladies on, what PCOS actually is. So even if you're not in my presence, if you understand what is happening inside of your body, then you understand what you're doing. You're not going to be on point all the time. You're not going to do the right thing all the time, but okay, I wasn't supposed to have that. I'm supposed to have 5 net carbs. This is like 25 net carbs. And the next day I wake up and I feel like crap. I feel like something just kicked me in the back of my head. Well, that's why you just had an insulin shoot. And that's why you feel terrible, because you had a sugar rush. So as long as you understand what is happening in your body, and that's why it's so, so important. And that's why people say, well, I do keto. I get that. But first of all, when it comes to keto, you have to calculate your macros. And people say, well, I say, well, do you do keto? They say, yeah, I do keto. Well, what are your macros? They're like, my what? What are your macros? And they have no idea what that actually means. And so, the average keto, like let's say an average person is going to take in 15 to 20 grams of carbs a day, which is technically looked at as low. But if you're a PCOS patient, that's not, you're still going to be in a bad place. You're still going to be overproducing insulin. Okay. So that is not what you want to do. Okay, so this is why I say, it's not just all about keto. When I say keto, I need people to understand that it's more meats and vegetables, not the carbs. But I don't necessarily want you to follow a keto plan. Oh, and by the way, for all of you people who either do keto or are PCOS or whatever the case may be, when you get those keto snacks from the grocery store, they ain't really keto snacks. The carb content is so high. You can find some that has a good carb content, but you actually do better with sugar-free food than the foods in the grocery store that say keto. So cut out a lot of sugar, carbs, and increase the protein. No, not cut out a lot. Cut out all sugar, not all, sweetie. Not a lot. All. Okay. Yes. So, there is medication. There are 2 medications involved, plus the cutting out all of the carbs and then doing your cardios, your resistance, your light weights and all of those things. Okay. So yes, all of those things work in conjunction together, to get you in a better place. Okay. But just like there's no such thing as dirty keto, because if you do dirty keto, you're actually storing fat. And you're burning sugar and you're storing fat, and it's actually very, very dangerous to do dirty keto. Either you stick with it hardcore or you don't do it at all. So it's either very, very healthy for you or very, very dangerous, and the choice is yours. So that's why I tell people to be very careful when it comes to keto. Okay. But to get back to PCOS, some of the things that I hear, and I feel so bad sometimes because patients are so desperate, and I get it. All you want, look, yes, absolutely. You can have meat if you like, Christina. You can have meat if that's your ministry. If you like meat, have meat. If you're a vegetarian, but another thing that people tend to get confused about: no beans, no nuts when you are being treated for PCOS. Okay. So I know beans are a source of protein, but can't have them because they're too carby. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Most PCPs and gynecologists will give the wrong information. So eat sticks and grass. Oh, not sticks and grass. Not sticks and grass. You can actually have a good time. Like I said, you're a vegetarian, and that's fine. You can do a zucchini lasagna. For people who eat seafood and meat, you can barbecue some crab legs. You can do meats and veggies. You can do shrimp and broccoli minus the rice. But if you have a rice cooker, now here's the gag, because a lot of people say, I don't like cauliflower. I don't like cauliflower. I'm sorry to hear you go too, babe. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the wonderful questions that you have. But a lot of people say, I don't like the rice. And Happy New Year. I don't like the rice carbs. If you have a rice cooker and you got that cauliflower rice, oh baby, that stuff come out tasting just like regular rice. But you try to put it on the stove, it's like porridge. And I'm a good keeper. I'm a good cooker. So, But let me see. What's it? Missy, and I am thin. My hump said low carb diet and increase my fiber. What is her hump? I don't know what her hump is. But anyway, maybe that's a I don't know, maybe that's a GYN, maybe that's a typo. I don't know. But anyway, so, the point that I want to make is that, we're with you. PCOS, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I'll tell people, not only when you get into treatment, it also addresses your unhealthy addiction, not even addiction, your unhealthy relationship with food. A lot of times we go to food for comfort. As PCOS patients, you tend to have gotten into the habit of hiding, because while you need this help, and while people are like, well, just stop eating. You're getting big. Just stop eating. And look at her. Look at what she eats. Because especially in the African American community, what we look at as support and encouragement is actually verbal abuse sometimes. Let's keep it 100. And they don't really mean to hurt you. What they are trying to do is get you to see yourself so you can stop these behaviors. But what they don't understand is you really cannot stop these behaviors. And it forces you to eat in private. It forces you to eat in your car. It forces you to feel bad about who you are. It forces you to feel bad about how you look. And I'm here to say that does not have to be your life. And you just keep going around the mulberry bush and nobody's giving you answers and nobody's helping you. But that does not have to be your life. I got you. If you can make it to see me, great. If you only make it to see me one time, and, we'll do telemedicine after that. Great. I will make it my personal. If we have to call you back to confirm your appointment at 8:00 at night, we're going to do what we got to do. I want to get you ladies in, and I want to get you ladies treated. And just, for me, where I am, is that the health, when we talk about the health and the disparities of African American women, it's so tough because now we're starting to suffer with so many things because of obesity. Our knees are hurting. Then you go to a doctor, say my knee is hurting. They're going to find a reason to give you damn knee replacement or put you on the medication. Now we're on pills and now we're doing this and this raises our pressure and this does this. We got to actually get to the root of the problem, and we got to fix the problem, and we got to start fixing us, starting from the bottom and doing because we'll do what we're told to do, but either you don't explain it to us properly, we don't understand what we're supposed to do, or what you're telling us is not working. And so we're like, I'm not going to keep doing that. I'm not going to keep being miserable. I'm not going to keep pooping all over myself. I'm not going to keep being nauseous and vomiting. I'm not going to keep doing it, and I'm not seeing any results. Well, there is a treatment, ladies, and it does work, and it works very, very well. And like I said, get to me, and I got you. Okay. But I just want you to know that you're not by yourself. That feeling of sadness, that feeling of shame, that feeling of anxiety, that feeling that you're never going to get better, that you're never going to get pregnant, that you're never, that feeling of feeling less than. It is definitely associated with the syndrome. And as we fix you, those things will improve. So I don't want you ladies to feel like you can't do better. I don't want you to feel like there's no win for you, because there is. You keep your head up. You stay in the game. And if you stay in the game, and that's all I ask you to do is stay in the game, I will give you results. I will show you results. I will help you fix you. You just have to stay in the game and feel like, yes, I can do this. Yes, this can be done. Because if you do that, I got you otherwise. Okay. So a couple of things. I'm going to end with this. I hope I helped a lot of people. I hope I answered most, if not all of the questions that came across. I appreciate you all. I really, really do. I love you ladies. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what the physical attribute you're suffering from. I don't care what you're going through. I love you because you're a sister and you're worthy of love. And that's just how I feel. In 2022, we're doing what we need to do for us. Okay. And when I say us, I mean we as people. And that is, doing what makes you happy and not compromising on your happiness and not compromising on your health and not being afraid to get healthy and not being afraid of what we're going to hear. Okay, so I'm going to be checking on about a lot of different things. I make a promise to you all to do more lives. I was so busy. And I make a promise to you all to do more lives this year, to answer more questions so that you guys can get appropriate medical care. And if it's something that I'm not well versed on, baby, I'll have somebody sitting right next to me to be like, this is my road dog here, and we're going to get y'all straight and we're going to give you accurate information. So please know that I commit to do that to you all and for you all for 2022. But I am going to go and put some pajamas on. I got to get my food started. I'm soaking my black eyed peas. I'm soaking my greens. And I'm about to get my New Year's evening started here in the house. I hope ain't none of y'all trying to be in them streets. Let them streets be for the streets. Okay, that is not something you want to do this evening, especially with the Rona, a.k.a. Omarion, a.k.a. Omicron. What is it? Omicron. Somebody called it the Omegatron the other day. I like to fall out and die. But anyway, so just be safe, y'all. Happy New Year to you all. I'm glad we all made it. This is day 365 of 365, and I am so grateful. And I do want to see y'all on the other side of things. Again, call my office starting on Monday. We're going to get y'all all in. Even if we say we'll call you back, we got your information. We'll get your name. We'll get your number because it takes a while to get you in the system and figure out the logistics because a lot of people are traveling and we want to get you in when you want to be in. So even if we have to call you back with that appointment or we got to call you 8 o'clock that night, everybody is getting in. I have committed that. Everybody is getting in. Okay. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. For the people who bought badges, thank you so much. This is my first time and first experience with badges, and I'm so excited about it. But thank y'all so much and enjoy your evening and Happy New Year. All right, then. Let me see. I don't even know how to, y'all don't even know how to end the daggone thing. Okay, I think I do. All right, so, and I'm going to, by the way, I'm going to post this to the Clean and Cute page. Okie dokie. All right. Have a good